Nope, it took me so long to decide what I wanted to do that it's no longer really an issue. Everything's kind of sorted itself out. But I decided I'd go with something I haven't really used much, and that is Industrial Forgoing. And it starts out a bit funky. There's a manual. I suggest reading the manual. And we're going to need a tree fluid extractor. To start it off, that's how you generate the latex in order to make a lot of the rubber to make plastic to make other things. It's got a little opening intro to the mod here. Alright, so I'm going to take this and just plop it down next to a log someplace. This one's close, that works. Now it should be, oh, I think it is power. Oh no, it doesn't need power. Okay, never mind, we're good. You should just slowly eat away at that log. I don't think it does the whole tree at once. I think it's individual logs. And if you have multiple ones of them, then they should stack up to help the process go faster. As we get that latex, we're going to need something to do with it. And for that, you want the latex processing unit. Machine case. I'm imagining there'll be a lot of these machine cases needed, because most mods that have a machine case use it for almost everything. I guess I'll just plop this out here next to this. This is going to need power, which means I might as well just bring it in here and for now use buckets to transport latex back and forth, because that's already got power already. Oh, that's cool. Got little indicators to tell you what you're looking at. So I guess while we're waiting on some latex to come in, I will explain a bit of what the getting started of the manual says here. It basically says you need to get this latex from the fluid tree extractor and pump the latex into the processing unit with some water to get tiny rubber. And looking at this part here, you take tiny dry rubber that you get out of the machine. You combine it all together to get a small piece of dry rubber. And you take that and you cook it to get plastic. And it looks like plastic is used a lot in the mod, and I guess you can use it in a few other ones. I'm guessing every machine pretty much takes some plastic. That looks to be the case. So you're gonna need lots of latex, lots of plastic, and it looks like it takes quite a while. Oh yeah, there you go, you can see it's breaking the log. Now it did mention that it needed water, and I don't really want to have to run back and forth with buckets all the time. I'm going to create an infinite water source from pressure pipes. It's extremely easy to make. Very handy to have. Only takes up one little spot, you even get your buckets back. So I should find a way to pump that into it. This corner is going to get very messy. Because it does not auto accept, so I'm going to need to pump it. I probably should have put it up one. Maybe I'll do that. Just so I can pump it right down. And in order to move the liquid around, I'm going to use X utilities to transfer nodes again, except this time the fluids. Same basic recipe, just with a bucket. I'll plop that down there. I think you can even use transfer pipes. Yes, you can. Look at that. So we are now turning the water and latex into tiny dry rubber. Alright, we have enough to make one dry rubber. I'll throw that in the powered furnace. We have our first piece of plastic, sheets of plastic. Well, I wanted to make the protein reactor and generator. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to make the bioreactor and biofuel generator. So that's going to take a bit of starting out. And as I thought was the case, plastic is required for pretty much all of these. Need a fermented spider eye, some slime balls. I don't have any slime balls, but I do have some rice dough. I'm going to take that with some water, make rice slime balls. Now unfortunately most things don't actually take the rice slime balls, but you can turn rice slime balls into slime blocks. And take the slime blocks and turn them into normal slime balls. So I guess all slime is the same in the end, but we have our bioreactor. So a bioreactor will take natural items such as this melon. Okay, it actually doesn't take melon. It takes wheat. Okay, it takes seeds. Okay, I guess it takes everything but the first one I tried. There's a list in the manual of what it actually takes. There we go. Looks like you've got seeds, carrots. Okay, so pretty much everything I didn't try. All the dyes, saplings. But it turns it into biofuel. And if I wanted to, I could take that, put it in the biofuel generator, and get 160 RF a tick for off of one bucket for a total of 640,000 RF, which isn't too bad. But the problem with that is that this coal generator back here is out of coal again. Actually generates 180 RF a tick by itself. The problem being that what I'm doing now is it runs out of coal all the time, very quickly, which is why I was going to step it up from the bioreactor to the protein generator, which is 320 RF a tick for 1 bucket of protein, even though it says biofuel in here. But I need the biofuel generator anyway, so it all works out in the end. So at this point, it's becoming pretty apparent that we're going to need an entire factory floor for this mod. So I need to have wood producing latex, and then getting dumped in the latex processing unit to create the tiny dry rubber. Then that's got to be auto-crafted into the dry rubber. Then that's got to be cooked into plastic. And then of course the protein reactor is going to require a bunch of protein, which requires an entire animal farm. So it looks like I have quite a bit of building to do. I'm going to try something a bit different. I'm going to take all these machines and move them outside. Not all of them, but just the Industrial Forgoing ones. And move them outside into a little spot that I'm going to clear. And I don't know how big of a building I'm going to need around it, so I'm just going to literally just throw them out on the ground and see how big they are. And then I guess when I'm done with the mod building around it, I don't know, hopefully that works. I've never tried it that way. It's a little funky for me, but I'm going to clear a path and an open spot for them, and then I'll move them all over there. Okay, well, I finished my little path here. Just, I don't know, just put some random blocks down, made some steps, get back up and down. Got this little open area here. I've placed down some machines. I've moved all of the tree fluid extractor and latex processing unit, bioreactor, and the water and whatnot out here. So I built a second power cell and hooked them up using the power cell cards like I mentioned. So now I can store 2 million RF. Not that I'm getting that much energy yet. But I also added this extra block over here, the block placer from Cyclic. And it does what the name is, and it places a block. If I have it always on, then every time that ticks down, if there's a spot open, it'll place a block. And so anytime the tree fluid extractor breaks a tree, getting latex out of it, it'll place another one down. Which will automatically come over here. And same with the water coming in. And just keeps making these. Next step is to auto-craft them and cook them and do plastic. Oh, and before I forget, this is All the Mods 3 version 5.1. So if you have more or less mods than I do, that's why. I created another powered furnace from Actually Additions. But in order to need the powered furnace, I'm going to need to first auto-craft the tiny dry rubber into dry rubber. I'm going to use the RF Tools Crafter Tier 1. I'm going to plop that down right here. Pop on a transfer node. And some transfer pipe. And now you can see that it is getting the tiny dry rubber. We're going to set, Okay, now we're going to set the recipe. Just by filling in this thing, and it'll tell me what it makes, which is dry rubber, and that's what we want. We apply it. Now I only immediately seen 2 different mods that could transfer power. Mechanism with its universal cables, and XNet. And I thought, hey, we're doing some RF tools, why not do XNet? Made by the same people, same guy, I guess. So just going to make a little controller here. Even uses the machine frame from RF tools. After you've created the controller, which as the name would suggest controls the entire thing, you're also going to need to build 2 connectors. Now, if you get the colored ones that match whatever colored your pipes are, then that you can cross the cables without having them mess up everything, because they will only listen to the connectors that are their colors. But we're just going to get the normal connectors that don't have a set color, and you're going to want 2 of them. I just plop this up here and save a little extra bit of room. I'm going to set the controller on top of here so it starts getting power right away. I could plop the connector down, and we're going to use our second connector on the power cell. And we're going to edit channel 1 and create an energy channel. And for the crafter, we're going to create and set it to insert mode, which is default, so that's fine. And for the power cell, we're going to create one and have it set to extract. And you can see already that it started extracting some. It's taking it and dumping it in there. And we've already got 6 dry rubber. So this is a bit more complicated than just mechanism hooking up pipes, or most mods is hooking up pipes, but it allows you a lot more functionality, because I can set these so that to have a certain rate to extract or insert the energy, as well as how much it needs, otherwise it'll turn off. If it can't get this much energy, then shut it down. And I'm going to have to put this powered furnace at least 1 block away so I don't accidentally connect in there. I'm going to take another transfer node, plop it on the side, and if I go down I will connect anyway, so I'm going to have to make sure and go over. And it started? No, okay, I was going to say it doesn't have any power. So let's give it some power. Can do that using XNet still. Just going to want to get a connector into it, use the cable to hook it up. And just like with the other ones, you're just going to go to the powered furnace and have it insert power into it. Oh, we've already made it plastic. So speaking of making plastic, I'm going to want to take them out of here as well. And so I thought, why not pop down a chest next to this connector? That way it's still already hooked up to the system. And XNet can do that as well. Go to channel 2, change this to XNet item. And it works basically the same way for the powered furnace. I'd like to extract. And I'm going to insert into the chest. You can see the plastic's already in there. So I think that's pretty much the automated plastic creation. We get the latex, mix it with water, and auto craft it into the dry rubber and cook it into plastic. Now I would say that I might need a tree farm for this, but I mean this goes extremely slow. I only put like 50 in here the entire time I've been recording and going along, and it doesn't extract it that fast or break the blocks very quick. Well, I changed some stuff around here because I realized that I was already using XNet, and so I can kind of just smash everything together. So that's what I did. In here, it's still all the same. The energy is being extracted out of the power cell and getting sent to everything. This one, the items are being extracted from the powered furnace and latex processing unit and being inserted into the chest and crafter. And on the inserts, I have the items being filtered so that only plastic can go in the chest and only a tiny rubber can go in the crafter. Then I have this extra item one, which is just extracting them out of the crafter and putting them into the powered furnace. I don't have any filters on that because it's only one item going there. But I thought, I don't need that much plastic. I probably won't need more than a stack at any time. And because it's all hooked up to XNet, I can use this, the XNet logic. So I'm going to do that for the chest. I'm going to create a sensor that's looking for an item. And like my first instinct was to do if it's greater than 64, stop. But that's a little bit more work, or I don't quite get it. So I'm going to do less than 64. I'm going to need a piece of plastic. I'm going to put it in there. Tell it that it's looking for this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this output color to red. That means that once the item, or while the item is less than 64, it'll be outputting red. So on this energy extraction, I'm going to change this to have a red color. So that means that this will only work if it has the right color. So it'll only work if it has red. It will only work if there's less than 64 pieces of plastic. Which, as you can see right now, everything's still moving around because there's not more than 64. But that way it'll just kind of stop giving everything power if I hit 64. And it'll still go through whatever power is left in the machines, but it will stop. I also had found out that I don't actually need this bioreactor. Not at all. That was accidentally built. Because the protein reactor doesn't require it. But the protein generator does require the biofuel generator. So I built the wrong one. So I thought I would go ahead and build a plant sower just to have some trees growing for the plastic if I do just want it to keep going forever. Because that's what you do in modded Minecraft. Okay, we've got a plant sower. Oh, I built a little hole back here behind this because I'm going to put the plant sower right about here. And hook it up to XNet, which also means that it will not get power if we have 64 plastic, which is fine. The reason I put it here and into the ground is because if you right click on it and hit this little snowball, show the working area, it actually does it one block up. And of course the last one going into the machine should be a connector. And then it's like all the other ones here for power. We just gotta insert it. And that's it's done. Now it has power. You can see this one uses power pretty much all the time, whether it's got anything to do or nothing to do. I'm just going to put some oak saplings in here. You can see it's already starting to plant them. If you were wondering why I didn't immediately plant saplings all over the place, it's because the colors on the top of this thing match up to the colors in here. And so you actually have to put plants all over the place in here. Otherwise it will just put it in the first two or however many you fill in. And then I went ahead and locked it so that way there's no extra things that can accidentally get put in here. The other machine that we are going to need is the plant gatherer. As the name suggests, the plant gatherer will harvest the plants in front of it. It has the same type of show working area snowball, so I can see that this is the area it's going to work in, which is exactly the same size, because I don't have any upgrades in any of these, so it works out just fine. Just gotta hook it up to XNet. Then in here, I'm going to give that one power, just like all the other ones. And I've already hooked it up so that I can extract the items out of the plant gatherer and insert them into the block placer. For the block placer, I'm going to put a filter so that it'll only accept oak wood, since I have oak saplings. That way nothing will accidentally get placed in there. I'm just going to bone meal one of these plants and see what happens. You can see it starts eating it away. It's gone, and then it's planted back. Now you see how this has saplings in it, so we're also going to need to set up a filter for the saplings to go from the gatherer into the sower. Now I think that because I locked it, I don't actually have to put a filter on this to let it know that I only want oak saplings in there. But I'm going to anyway, just because I don't want it to end up anywhere else on accident. Or anything else somehow getting in there? I don't think it would. With all these machines constantly ticking away at my energy, I think it's time to finally build the protein reactor and the protein generator. In order to build the protein generator, I actually have to build the biofuel generator, which I mistakenly built the bioreactor. But now I've got both of them. I can get a meat farm going. Well, I'm a bit confused. I didn't chop down any of those trees back there. And I didn't know the plant gatherer can go that far. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to. It's just right there. But it's like eating everything for some reason. The wood is even going in here. It's holding on to all this extra junk. I don't know why it's doing this. Or how it's doing this. But I guess it's kind of convenient. I suppose I can put a little animal farm here and use these bioreactors, generators. I went ahead and ran some cable underneath here. As you can see, that is a pretty handy feature of this mod, just being able to do that. I'm going to pop a connector down on there, get that hooked up, and give it some power. So if I throw a raw pork chop in here, you can see it takes it away, and it creates a bit of protein. So I put a small fence around this because I plan on putting chickens in here with some of the other machines that will butcher the chickens, and then I will insert the eggs and the chickens themselves into the protein reactor in order to get the protein, and then put the protein into the protein generator. All hopefully within this tiny fence. Thankfully this mod has fence jumpers, so I can just hop in and out. You might be thinking, you're gonna go run around and get chickens, how are you gonna do that? I'm going to use the mob imprisonment tool from the Industrial Forgoing. Uses a gas tier and plastic, got plenty of plastic. And you just throw them at them and it'll catch them. Ah, see, I found a cow, and you just right click. I guess you don't have to throw them anymore. Maybe just right click on them, and you can carry them around with you. You just place them down, pick them up, place them down, pick them up. There's no durability on it. Cow doesn't seem like he likes it, but that's too bad. Well, I've got a few chickens here, and I think that's enough to get started, hopefully. I'm going to make the animal feeder, so that way I can have my animals create more animals. It does require 2 golden carrots and a golden apple, so a decent amount of gold there. I went ahead and plopped the animal feeder down, and if I turn on the working area, you can see that it'll get this entire area right in front of it here, which turns out to be perfect. Well, I thought I'd move the chickens around a bit, just keep them inside the harvester's range, the feeder for them, and move the protein reactor over, because didn't need this fence now that I've fenced them in this area. But like everything else in this mod, it needs power. I guess it's not just this mod, like almost everything in this game. I built a item collector from Cyclic. It's not really too hard to build, and it does pretty much what I wanted to do, because the other items, like if I just got a mob crusher from the Industrial Forgoing mod, then it would just slaughter them and turn them into liquid meat, and this thing does not take liquid meat, but it does take eggs and chicken. And they're dropping eggs all the time, so I have this thing filtered to do eggs, and it happens to be like the perfect size again. Nice little 5x5 there. I filtered it to put eggs only, in case, I don't know, anything else ends up in here. I don't know what would, but you never know. And instead of using XNet for this, I'm just going to go ahead and use the old extra utilities too, since I have them with me right here, and it's not that hard to just do that. Now eggs are going in there, getting some protein off of just the chickens. I wonder if it would be easier to just have a very large amount of chickens in here just laying eggs all the time, versus just having to feed them and grow them and slaughter them. I might have to go find more chickens. Well, I took the lazy way. I have amassed a large amount of chickens. Just run in here and get swarmed by them. You're lucky you can't hear this, because it is a lot of clucking. A whole lot of clucking noise. I do have a few seeds in here. They don't really seem to work for whatever reason, but that's okay. I might just get rid of that machine anyway, if the eggs are enough. Oh, no, we have a containment breach. There's clucking chickens everywhere. So I may have had to resort to accidentally suffocating some chickens in the floor because they would not get out of a hole that was created. I think I've got most of them back, maybe. I don't know. I still see them running around every once in a while. There you are. Come here, you little baby. Well, I think most of them are in there. There might still be a few suffocating in the floor. I would say so. But it's okay. We got some raw chicken. I don't think it'll use the Infurium essence. I would imagine that it wouldn't. However, it did seem to eat the feathers that also got eaten, or suffocated and absorbed. That's why I increased the size, because there's some chicken stuck in the floor that occasionally suffocate. So it's a work in progress, but it's pretty much done. Still got a lot of chickens, lost quite a bit of them. But as you can see, we are getting some protein, have enough for a bucket. So I think it is time to lay down the generator. Due to the weird way this thing it distributes energy, because of the fact I'm using the power cell, I'd have to add another spot to it. I'm just going to move the protein generator over here and have a connector onto the bottom. That way I can still just have the fluids inserting into it from all the way over there. And now you can see we are getting energy instead of losing energy. So that's working pretty well, because this thing can input output 5,000 RF a tick. And so it's just taking it right as it's being made. Now I may have messed up by putting this all on the same XNet part, because of that logic I have in here that stops giving power to anything if this gets 64. And oh look, we have 64. So this is out of energy. This is starting to lose energy, so I think I might just take that logic part out. Instead of fixing it, I'll just remove it and set this back to enable and color to be the normal. Everybody's got power again. Oh, you son of a gun. Teach you to escape my unescapable prison. Well, this thing has pretty much infinite eggs in it, so it's always producing some protein from quite a bit of chickens. It would probably be more efficient to actually have them be slaughtered and grown and all that stuff, but that's too much work. because you can see my efficiency is still at 0%, even though it's always had items. I think you need actual meat items in order to make the efficiency go up. But whatever, it works. My power is going back up. Everything's still running, so we're good. I don't have to keep jamming coal in it either, so I'm happy. Well, I was going to build a little house around this, but I mean, honestly, this turned out to be really small. And this is just like, I build a tiny shed around this. I don't know if it's even worth it to put anything around it. So I might mess with the trees growing. So I don't think I will. Maybe eventually, but probably not. But now we've got egg power. We are 100% free range, free-ish range chicken egg powered. Cage free. I mean, they're not in a cage, they're in a fence, so cage free. Chicken power. Also, I figure I should mention this sludge buildup. In at least this current version of the mod, you don't need to worry about it. You can still pump it out and put it into a sludge, whatever it is, recycler. It's probably not that, but the sludge processing unit thing, and generate a few items from it. But it's mostly just like soul sand, dirt, maybe gravel, just weird stuff like that. And according to the manual, the sludge does not slow down the machine. So I'm just going to let it build up to max and just sit there. It doesn't mess with it. I don't get much from it, so I'm just going to be lazy and leave it like it is. With that, I think this episode is pretty much done. We've got the Industrial Forgoing protein generator working. Off of eggs. Lots and lots of eggs. Oh look, must still be chicken suffocating in the floor. Oh yeah, I can hear them. I think another one just died. Yep. There is an issue with the feathers getting stuck that I will fix now, I guess. If I just put that in there, then take an egg out of this. And there we go, it's fixed. Simple as that. Now it'll only take raw chicken and eggs. Is there a chicken loose? Son of a gun, there's always chickens running around here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.